Hey, everybody, it's Prince, and this is actually my 1 year, 11-month widow update. Crazy. And really for me, so I felt like I wanted to do this one because when it comes to the 2 year, I just already know I'm not going to be in the mentality for that to do my 2 year widow update, so I'm doing it now. For those who don't know, you may or may not know, so my husband Domonic Prince passed away very suddenly from a heart attack 2 years ago, February 11th, 2016. That feels like a million years ago, but then it also feels like it happened like yesterday. I always speak a lot about like how your mind and body processes grief. A lot of times I have kind of this feeling that like he's gonna call me, or like I'm gonna see him soon or something like that. Like I even sometimes still reference him as if he's just around the corner. So I mean, for me, as I process my grief long term, it is something where you just know that like your spirits just never die, because sometimes when things are gone forever, you just know they're gone forever. Like, I don't know, maybe material, tangible things. But when it comes to the connections that we have in our lives, they just never go away all the way. Even, we have grandparents that pass away, family members, whoever, dear friends, and you just never feel that they're completely gone from you. Your spirit is still connected in some way. So I very much often reference him as still kind of just being around. I still feel his presence a lot of the time. Just wanted to give you guys, though, a quick update on my life. It's always a quick update, but then these videos end up being like super long, so please forgive me. But I'm trying to be consistent, more consistent than I was last year. 2017 was kind of an extension of 2016 in that 2017 felt like the scab for me, at least how I reference it. 2016 was very difficult for a lot of us, and so 2017 took to a lot of healing that it took. And so there was also a lot of change. I moved to Atlanta. I'm now, I don't have a Georgia license or anything yet, but I am a Georgia resident for the most part. I go back and forth between LA, Atlanta, and also New York. So that's great. As of the last video that I gave you guys, I think I had just moved in, and forgive me, my camera is like trying to deceive me, and we're not gonna let the devil have his way today. So forgive me if the camera's like moving. I just want to get this done so that I won't procrastinate it. So I ain't starting it over. I ain't cutting nothing. We'll see. Maybe we'll do it in post. We'll see how that works out. But so I moved to Atlanta. Me and New York Bay are still going strong. Ended up spending the holidays with him and his family on the East Coast in New York and in Maryland, which was great. And then he spent Thanksgiving with me and my family. At the time, my dad was in the hospital, so he came and stayed with us and all that. So, pretty good stuff. Like he is just like, the best part about him is he's not just a partner, he's a really good friend, and I really appreciate him for being that for me, and not just as having somebody to lean on as I'm still going through the certain processes of grief, but in addition to just be able to cultivate that type of relationship with someone. And so it being a mutually beneficial type of thing, which you want, you don't want it to be one-sided. But he's a really good guy. He's really, really dope. Gets along with my family, I get along with his. It's good. So y'all got the tea on that. So things are good there. Career-wise, things are going well. Kind of 2017 was so interesting because I worked with so many dope brands. Like, shout outs to Shayaleen. Y'all check them out. She has Rahama, the owner, has a really, really dope personal brand that is for moisturizers and soaps, and it's all made from shea butter straight from Ghana. It's a really, really dope brand. I want you guys to support her and her endeavors. She's really doing the work. I also worked with Curly Nikki, who I've admired for years. Shout out to Nikki Walton. She is amazing. Also got to work with KRS Hair Group, who do these amazing kinky wigs. Really, I got one of these wigs, and these wigs are the bomb. Like, so dope. So like I say all that to say, I just worked with a lot of really dope brands last year. I got a really nice opportunity to get more experience in my career, and that's really what I want to foster for 2018 is doing more of that, because I do social media management, brand influence, brand consulting, those types of things. I'm also working on getting more speaking engagements. I will be talking more on the side of being a date coach, and so with that encompasses relationship advice, widow panels, any kind of discussion that involves those types of relationships. I really want to get more into that conversation in 2018. So if y'all have any opportunities, please feel free to hit me up. I would love to come out. We have that discussion, because this is very important, because we all deal with levels of grief, but how do those play out in our relationships? So that's kind of a bit of what happened in 2017. So we're reestablishing ourselves in Atlanta. I've just started working with this really great magazine brand, so I'm excited about that. You guys should see some things, hopefully. I'm not saying like y'all for sure gonna see it. It's gonna come on the Super Bowl halftime. Like, it's not popping like that yet, but keep an eye out for your girl. But things are good. A couple of things, as far as the advancement of my particular PTSD, I'll give you guys just an overview of that. I do deal with certain levels of anxiety. When my dad went into the hospital in November, I started developing migraines that came out of nowhere, nausea, not being able to eat, dizziness, just things that I hadn't quite developed, and it became in addition to what I was already dealing with. It was an added stress. There was an added anxiety there, and so it caused me to have these types of illnesses. I mean, I even thought I was pregnant, because I just didn't know what was going on. I was like, why am I nauseous? Why am I throwing up? Why do I have these migraines? Why this is that? Ran all the tests. I'm not pregnant, so at least not yet. But it wasn't that. It was really just a culmination of stress. They ran all the tests and they didn't find anything. So, I say all that to say that just take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Like, take care of yourself. Keep in mind your stress levels if you can. I think also it's kind of a privilege, because if you have the privilege of being able to say, hey, I'm taking a day out for it, cool. But some people don't. But still try to keep that in mind when you are running yourself day to day. Like, really, I just hope that we all can take better care to manage our stress, because stress really does kill. Stress really does kill. It just wears on your body, especially watching what my dad has gone through, knowing what I've gone through. It's super important to keep that stuff in mind. Other things, the family is otherwise good. Again, like, my friends are so dope. I had just a really, really great birthday in December. My partner's birthday is also in December, so we celebrated together in New York, and it was cold as hell, by the way. That shows you how much I love him. This is California skin. This here is California skin, so I don't really know how to process like snow and all that. I can't really do it, but I did it. Okay, thanks to my vintage coat from Goodwill that I got for like $7, and it's an amazing coat. I love this coat. I will never give it up. I probably might give it up, but still, it's a really dope coat. But yeah, shout outs to Goodwill. It saved my life this winter. But yeah, I have had a really good time. I mean, highs and lows. Life is highs and lows, but when I tell you I've come out with such a great perspective, and I really feel like it's gearing me up for 2018. My word for the year is focus. I feel like if I can focus more on my goals, I can really start getting things more in line. We are also going with No Humility 2018 as the theme. And that's really just meaning, like, it's not about being like, pompous about it or cocky. It's about really owning your gifts and not shying. I think sometimes we have a way of shrinking ourselves. What I've learned in my process of recouping as a widow, and let me also say this, the timeline I'm on, I can only really start to address these things 2 years later. It's 2 years later and it only feels like a year. So I keep telling people I'm aging in widow years, because the first year, it only really feels like a few months. And then you get to the second year and you're like, holy crap, it's 2 years. It changes how your mind processes time. I mean, time is all just kind of this fluid concept anyway, but you think of 2 years on one way, and then something like this happens and you're just like, okay, this has a totally different meaning. It feels different. So just know, if you go through anything similar to this, as far as grieving, give yourself some time and just kind of work on trying to get past the initial just like shock. That's the first thing. It's just like the shock. You're just like, oh my God, like, how could this happen? But once you kind of take a breath and you take everything in and you start to process the information over time, it does get better. To anybody who's experiencing this level of grief from whoever you've lost, just know that it does get better. It takes time. It never goes away completely. And you are well within your rights. You are justified to feel the way that you do. But just take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Because a lot of really crazy health issues can pop up if you aren't taking care of yourself. Trust me, I almost went blind last year because my stress had gotten so bad. I got so stressed out. My eyes literally were like bulging out of my head. So it gets crazy. So I just want you guys to just take really good care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Hugs, love, good